Good friends, Doc South here. Oh boy, day after Father's Day. Actually, yesterday I had to work fairly long at the supermarket I work for. I guess I, I was there about 8 hours slugging it out. Although it was kind of nice on such a hot day, being in 31 degrees in the cooler, kind of pleasant. But I had done a video. I had done a video about my father to honor him for Father's Day, and and then somehow or another I hit the wrong button and it deleted. So I've got to do another. I don't know what happened, and I think there's ways to get it back. It went into a trash pile, but I can't. Yeah, I just don't know. So I'm going to do another. This actually it was pretty neat. My one thing my father and I had in common, besides being related and all that, yeah, we raised pigeons. Yeah, we raised pigeons when I was about 9 years old, something like that. We got ourselves some pigeons and. We had a chicken coop on the property anyway, so we just fixed it up so it could hold pigeons, and it was like raising race horses that don't eat a whole lot and don't cost a fortune. Although actually some racing pigeons can be quite valuable if they're consistent winners. You can put them, you can sell them for breeding stock for literally thousands, or their babies. Yeah, their babies go pretty good too. The only trouble is the babies will come back to your coop, not the coop of the person who bought them. Right. Something to do with wherever a pigeon has, a homing pigeon anyway, was hatched. That's where they return. And you got pigeons. You got pigeons that can be. You can let them go at sunup in Indiana on a summer's day, out in Indiana, and those pigeons will be back at your coop by sundown in New Jersey. So from Indiana, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, good part of New Jersey, and they're home. Yeah, oh, they're tired, but they've done it. Yeah, you're talking about 600 miles. Those babies can move. They really can. They're amazing. And I don't think to this day anyone really knows how they figure that out. But in any case, my father used to like to, he'd come home and maybe him and mom would sit out in the backyard and he'd let the pigeons go out of the coop and they'd fly, they'd circle the coop and he'd watch them. It was like he was, I think well, he was a pilot in World War II. I think it was like his squadron that he commanded, his pigeons, his feathered warriors. And actually they were pretty cool birds. I got to say, they not like you see in the park. No, they are just nice birds. And but one day he's out there just sitting, having probably a martini, maybe he's working on his second one, just for giggles. And all of a sudden he looks and there's a groundhog come out from under the coop. Yeah, evidently overnight a groundhog had evidently burrowed a hole under the coop, and voila. And so he comes running. He stands up, bolt upright, out of his chaise lounge, and goes running into the house. He says, "My God, there's a groundhog under the coop. Groundhogs eat pigeons. Oh no, I can't have that. He's going to, if nothing else, he's going to scare them away. Oh, the stinking groundhog." And, well, next thing you know, he's running for his shotgun. When he stood up, the groundhog went running back into its burrow under the coop. And so now he's out there. He's got his shotgun. I think it was a 12 gauge. He had two shells in the, double barrel. Oh, yeah. And not messing around. And he said, "My God, I'm going to go get it." And mom's going out of her mind. What'll the neighbors think? A shotgun blast going off. He said, "There's going to be two shots." He said, "I'm going to get him." And of course, Ed and I, my brother and I, are whoa. We're thinking we're all going to get arrested. the old man shooting a shotgun off in the backyard there in our town. I can hear it now. I'm thinking, oh my God, the perp walk and everything. It's gonna be so embarrassed. My whole family and me being led away in chains. And so, but anyway, so he tells us to all go inside, and he'll be back. He's like, yeah, the great hunter, and he goes. We of course we didn't duck or anything. We're looking out the window at this mess, and again, what he had to do, we had a driveway that went around the back of the coop into a parking lot for a soda warehouse that was on the property. And he, no one was there, thank God, because there he is. He's like Elmer Fudd used to do that. Be very, very quiet. Yeah, like kind of, yeah. And he's kind of slinking down the driveway. The groundhog's kind of out there, but my father can't get a good shot. At that point, he'd be shooting into the neighbor's cornfield, and that could be trouble if they're in there picking corn. So he goes, he just slinks around, just kind of woo do 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 do, yeah, kind of thing, around the back, the far end of the coop. Now the coop is between the groundhog and him. Okay, and we're watching. Mom's she's just freaking out. Yeah, Mom was a nervous type anyway, but now she's really freaking out, and he comes. All of a sudden, I'm looking out the window. I'm kind of like the reporter. Eddie's too short to see. He's trying to get a chair so he can look too. And finally, I see my father. He's on the far end of the coop. The groundhog's I'd say about 30 feet from the coop, out in the lawn, munching on the lawn, eating some grass. And my father, I can see him. The groundhog can't quite see him, but my father's slinking along. Yeah, just creeping up one step at a time, low. Like he's like something you learned in boot camp or something. He's low, and he's got the gun at the ready, and he's creeping past the coop, past the birds. The birds are all up on the roof of the coop, sunning themselves, and and the groundhog, like I said, doesn't even see him. I guess, and he's getting closer and closer. He's got the gun almost at the ready, and the groundhog turns. The groundhog turns and looks at him, but my father's still too far away to get a really good shot. He didn't want to miss, and of course the other thing was, if for some reason that gun discharged funny, he's going to hit the house. So we're in the house, and I'm saying, we better. I said, why don't you guys duck? I'm going to keep. Well, no, we're all looking. Mom's going, oh my God, she's, and Eddie's, yeah, and I'm thinking, oh boy, I don't think you can outduck a shotgun blast. And in any case, he's again all this time creeping closer and closer. He's got the gun lowered, and he's raising it to his shoulder. I'd say he's about 10 feet from the groundhog. Couldn't possibly miss. And so he shoulders the gun, and he clicks back on the hammer. Yeah, it was an old gun. And he draws a bead, and the groundhog sees him. And instead of running away, you know what the groundhog did? Charged. Yes, the groundhog charged right at him. I don't know. Maybe the groundhog was a veteran. I don't know. He in the groundhog army, and he goes running right straight with his teeth out like this from. Groundhog have teeth, and he's running right straight from my father, right between his legs. The darn thing he's running right for right for the space between my father's legs. My father follows him with the gun, and lets go with a blast as the groundhog gets within about 3 feet of him. Yeah, he lets go with this blast. There is dust and smoke and grass and leaves and. Oh my God! All this stuff, and somehow or another the groundhog. Well, there's again all this stuff flying in the air, and And in fact, my father goes in the air because the groundhog was running, and I guess somehow as my father tried to trail, and with the blast of the gun and the groundhog getting closer, my father kind of jumped and did like a flip with the shotgun in his hand. Luckily had let both barrels go. And there's again all this smoke from the gunpowder and groundhog tail, and my father flying through the air, and well, long story short, my father missed. Yeah, the groundhog ran right between his legs, and of course my father's in the air, lands on his rump, and goes. And the groundhog goes sailing, flying to the coop, to its burrow under the coop, and ain't coming out. Oh, and pigeons are flying everywhere. Oh, the pigeons they don't know what to do. All that noise and commotion, and of course I holler out to my father, "You okay?" And he says, "I'm about 12, something like that." Yeah, the man, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm the man of the house now. My father gets up off the ground. He says, "Yeah, I'm okay." Did I get him? I said, "No, he's under the coop." We're hollering out the kitchen window. Mom's screaming for him to get back in the house right now, and before the police get here. And there was only one policeman in town. He was probably on the other side of the town, thank heaven. And maybe the phone call, maybe my father got the phone lines, I don't know. But so my father comes walking into the house. He's got the shotgun. He's, man, I'm out of shells too. Darn, I didn't get him. I said, "No, he ran just pretty as you can see, right? Pretty as you please under the coop. He's under there now." He says, "I'm going to call for help." And he calls his friend, Steve, who was another pigeon fancier, lived over a few towns over. And he says, "God," he says, "Steve, I don't know what to tell you. I just missed a groundhog, was living under the coop. Almost got him with the shotgun. Doggone, it was nip and tuck. I just missed him." And Steve says, "What? You shot at a groundhog that was living under your coop?" And my father says, "Yeah, they eat pigeons, right?" Steve says, "Oh God, no, they're vegetarians. They wouldn't hurt a pigeon." And he says, "The thing is," he says, "you ought to let that groundhog stay there. The doggone they keep the rats away. They and rats are like mortal enemies. And the groundhog's bigger than the rats. They'll chase them." "How big was the groundhog?" I said, my father said, "Well, it was a pretty big groundhog. I'd say 15 pounds, bigger than normal." And Steve said, "Well, that's probably because it's pregnant. That groundhog's probably going to have pups." And he says, "Really?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Honestly," he says to my father's name was Dick. He says, "Dick," he says, "that keep the groundhog there. You won't have any trouble ever with rats. You know, one rat gets into the coop, they kill the pigeons while they sleep. You'll get up there one day, you come in one morning and they're all dead. But not with the groundhog around. The groundhog will nail that rat." And my father says, "Well, I'll be darned." And he says, "Gosh, they don't eat much. Just leave them a few vegetables out there, you'll be fine." Well, anyway, long story short, a truce was called between a treaty was formed, between the groundhog and my father. Actually, as time went on, my father, the groundhog decided to stay. Indeed, was pregnant, had pups. I guess that's what you call baby groundhogs, hoglets. And the pigeons would be down on the ground with the groundhog and its family, his or her family. And there was a male groundhog too. Eventually moved in. Yeah, living together, I guess. I don't know. And we had pigeons on the above the floor, and we had groundhogs under the floor. It was kind of cool. And my father would actually, after a while, he decided he kind of liked that groundhog. Oh heck, he loved that groundhog. Yes. Used to bring it, he wouldn't eat all his vegetables at supper, bring a plate of vegetables out for the groundhog and the kids. Yeah. And the pigeons, they were happy as clams. No sweat with the groundhogs. And there you go. So anyway, that was my father for you. You could, with a convincing argument, Yes, you could. Yeah, he would listen. Yeah, he would listen to reason. Man. Anyway, he was a pretty cool guy. And he loved those pigeons of his. I think it was the him being a pilot at one time. I think he was up there flying with them. Yeah, yeah, I think so. Anyway, it was kind of neat. Okay, well, anyway, so there you go. I guess the big thing is if you got groundhogs under your coop, maybe hold off on the on the heavy artillery till you get the whole picture. Okay. Anyway, that was for Father's Day, and again, a good dad. I do miss him. I imagine I'll see him soon enough, but doggone, that's a good guy. Okay, we'll see you later, friends. Thank you, and God bless.